Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you are watching us for the first time or you are our regular viewers and you have not yet subscribed to our channel, allow me to request you with humility to take a second or two and subscribe to our channel. When you do that, don't forget to turn on the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. Kindly give this particular video likes and help us share our videos. And I want to thank in a very special way those who are supporting us and all our subscribers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during the former regime, we had very powerful cabinet secretaries. Some of them campaigned against William Ruto, and they were very tough, and they did not even hide their intent to ensure that Raila won that election. If you look at people like Eugene Wamalwa, who was the defense CS. You look at Joe Musheru, who was the predecessor of Eliud Owalo. People like Fred Okengo Matiang'i. But there were others who were very passive and very quiet. They were not very confrontational. In fact, when Ruto formed his government, I remember there are few who came back to his government. Someone like Monica Juma. I think Monica Juma is one of them. And many of them kept cool. They did not want, after Ruto got into power, they went quiet, I think for fear of reprisal or frustration, because you saw what Ruto did with people like Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Because you saw how the Ruto administration dealt with Fred Okengo Matiang'i. You saw what happened, how they tried to frustrate Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, today, one of the very quiet former CS, the person who was in charge of health, Mutahi Kagwe, was also the former Nyeri senator, resurfaced with a big bang, with a warning to William Samoei Ruto. And people are wondering what has come over him. He warned William Ruto about this hecklers and hustlers narrative, and he told of this administration concerning the punitive taxes. It has been the talk of the day because people are wondering, Mutahi Kagwe was never a controversial politician. Very quiet. He really thrived and trended during the corona with his fatherly advice and his very strong position against gathering, his strong positions against those who did not want to put on masks. He really trended. So I want us to listen to Mutahi Kagwe. Then when we come back, we shall discuss this further. Kindly listen to him.
Sasa hii mambo ya usuru tunaambiwa tulipe, tunalipa, lakini mtu hawezi kulipa saindi ya ile yako naye anaweza kulipa ama namna gani? Sasa mtu amefungua nduka pale, unamwambia alipe ile ameuza, kwani ile umeuza ni profit? Kama umenunua peremende, umenunua na pesa yako, hiyo inaitwa capital. Ile ya kununua inaitwa capital. Unaenda umeuza, si lazima ijulikane ile profit umepata ni ngapi. Sasa ukiambiwa ulipe 30% ya sales zako, si mtu anakuambia ufunge.
Alafu wanakuja wanasema tax people before they earn the money. Hiyo niyo kisomo yenu hiyo. You tax people before they earn the money. And that is why the purpose of our education must be now going forward to move the Kenyan nation from one of hecklers and hustlers to one of a working and wealthy nation.
Now, the reason why I have not discussed so much about Peter Munya, you know, Peter is very controversial, and he defended Uhuru, he defended the Azimio during the campaign, so it was expected that he would come up and criticize the Ruto regime. But then, for them as two former cabinet secretaries to come up now and they begin fearlessly to criticize this government, there is a reason. I want us to look at why Mutahi Kagwe came out very fearlessly, because in politics, things don't just happen. I don't think he just woke up and decided to criticize Ruto government. So I want us to look at this. Why do you think Mutahi Kagwe, very soft-spoken but very tough sometimes, decided to give Ruto a warning? And you see, he was very particular. He was criticizing our education. In other words, they do not understand how a government full of technocrats, economic technocrats, can decide to direct that people are taxed on their sales. According to them, they feel that the farmer, and this is coming as a result of the recent lamentation that the government has directed, not even directed, it was a bill that was passed in the Finance Bill 2023 by all the Kenya Kwanza members of parliament, especially from the mountain. And they didn't just do it, but they passed it enthusiastically. There's a lot of enthusiasm in it, and they were bragging very proudly that Azimio did not have the numbers. So this has come back. In the Kenyan terms, they say Kimewaramba. So this informed all this tax, the reason why they were lamenting, and of course, the larger taxes that are affecting Kenyans. Number one, the leaders in Kenya Kwanza are now tired. They gave this regime time because this regime came at a very hyped level with campaigns that they wanted to change our economy. They never saw anything good about Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, they labeled him a loser, a man who had ditched them at the time when they needed him. They said Kikuyu Nation voted for Uhuru, but Uhuru went to Kisumu. So they've been very quiet trying to look at how things are moving, and I think they've come up with the conclusion that William Ruto is heading nowhere. The trajectory that he's taken is not helping. Everyone is crying about taxes, the high cost of living and all this. So for them to come out and speak, they're also tired. They are part and parcel of farmers. Remember, if it is tea or coffee, some of these politicians are farmers. So they too feel the heat of the taxes. They feel the heat of the bad and poor economic policies and decisions that are made by this regime. And this prompted them to come out. There has been a general feeling that in Kenya Kwanza, the only person who is free, especially from Mount Kenya, is Gathoni Mushamba, who keeps on telling them, I will not support something that I feel is injurious to the people who elected me. All the other members of parliament are caged. They are being strangled and they cannot speak out. In fact, if you listen to most of these leaders, there's been a general feeling that they need to come out and start speaking loud. Begging the question, who helped the other? Is it the leaders who helped William Ruto get votes? Is it vice versa? Is it Ruto who gave them the votes? Because they are behaving as if it is Ruto who assisted them. So Mutahi Kagwe is coming out to join hands in those people who are tired and they have decided to speak out no matter what. It is like they're ready for any eventuality. Number two, they want to join Uhuru in liberating the mountain. You see, many people have cried out to Uhuru to help them. And that's why the Jubilee party is being fought tooth and nail, being fought day and night. People like Sabina Chege and the other guys, Kanini Kega, want to take this party. But if you listen to people like Muradi and Jeremiah Kinu, they are saying Jubilee is their house. They are asking this UDA party that is being hyped on them, whose is it? Because in Kenya, parties are being identified with families, whether you like it or not. Officials will be here and there, but these parties are identified. UDA is identified with the Ruto family. You know, KANU is identified with the Moi family. You know that ODM identified with the Oginga or Raila family. And that is how it is. Wetangula, Ford Kenya, and all this. But we have officials. So there's been this call that they need to go back to Jubilee where they can speak freely without being reprimanded. And even though the law does not allow Uhuru to play, active politics, his people will always showcase what Uhuru wants. If you listen to Murathe, they really feel that they are sorry for not listening to Uhuru when Uhuru warned them not to make a mistake of electing his former deputy. So it's like Mutahi Kagwe, together with all these former members of parliament, former cabinet secretaries, they have decided that they are joining hand with Uhuru to begin another liberation so that come 2027, people will not make the same mistake again. And there's a possibility that Mutahi Kagwe is preparing for another trial, maybe to become a governor because he's from Nyeri, where Rigathi Gachagua is also coming from, or to become a senator. So maybe he's preparing, not just a member of parliament, he's preparing to vie for the seat. Because in the last election, there was a lot of euphoria about the UDA, the hustler, the mamamboga, so they were taken by a lot of euphoria. But people have begun to wake up from their slumber. They have removed their heads from the sand like the proverbial ostrich, and they are realizing that they were hoodwinked. Whatever they were told and the lofty promises were mere campaign gimmicks. So 2027 might be a game changer because people will not be voting by euphoria, but they will face the reality, and there might be a paradigm shift where they will be electing leaders. Most of these former members of parliament might just come back. So for Mutahi Kagwe to come out, he could be laying a foundation for a position in government or to contest in 2027, because it was and it is very rare of him to come up and the way he was speaking that we must stop this heckling and hustling, the message of a heckler and a hustler. That is like telling Ruto he is just a heckler talking about things that are neither here nor there. I don't know what you think, but that is what I think the reason why Mutahi Kagwe had to come out very fearlessly and openly. And I think we are yet to see more of these cabinet secretaries. Please share with me what you think in the comment section.